Holy cow. Love it. All right, guys. It's been a fun week. Fun episode. We just recorded with Colin Spolman from Kings County, and now we're doing the re-entry buzz a few weeks later in the series. But we've poured out this sample. You know how it goes for the re-entry buzz. It's a blind tasting competition. We get points for certain categories and guessing. We also give notes. We also give a score. We also say how much we're going to pay for, how much we would pay for it off the first sip and smell. So let's go for that now. Lighter color for the record.
Definitely.
I have no idea what to expect. So let's go for the sniff and sip.
Yeah.
Ooh,
very like
getting something from this.
golden honey color.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
really
my
great
gosh.
nose.
All right. Yeah. Very prominent
really great
nose features here.
Yeah. I could get behind this one.
Very indicative of what it may be.
Yeah, exactly. Which we'll get to after this little break. But first, let's say, how much would you pay after sipping? Holy cow. Love it.
Wow.
I would pay 120 for this one easily.
I think I'm trying to not let you influence me. I think I'm right around 100. Some of that has to do with personal preference. Maybe I'll get into that later.
Which we'll get into in a little bit. We'll be right back. We'll give our guesses. We'll give our notes. But before then, we'll take a quick walk break. We're back, peeps. Our friends, our whiskey buddies. This was a very special whiskey. I loved it. And before I talk about my guesses, why don't I talk about my notes? So on the nose for this whiskey, I said slightest bit of peat on the nose, but it is enveloped by a pear and appley note on the nose. Sweet and very well balanced. On the palate, I said before the peat comes on, there's a cornucopia of fruit. So delicious. Like one of the most fruity in a bright way Islay like peaty related whiskeys I've ever had. Really well balanced. I said there's a beautiful peaty finish, but bright and slightly fruity on the finish as well. So I love this. I gave it a 9.4, which is one of my highest ratings I've ever given.
Yeah. Wow. So on the nose for me, I said sweet, briny, damp hay.
Ooh, yep.
On the palate, I said briny, mild peat, but tons of sugary sweetness to keep any bitterness in check. Grilled pineapple, stewed tropical fruits.
Yo.
On the finish, I said mostly brine, but very mellow overall, soft and warming. And I said, to sum it all up, sweet campfire Islay.
Yep. No doubt about it. This is not mesquite dispeat. So I'll go first on the guesses. Type Scotch. Secondary grain, not applicable. I could say multi bees, but the only bees here are
80% malted barley, 20% malted barley.
Exactly. I went with Ardbeg here. You probably might have gone the same, but this reminds me of just a beautiful Islay. And I think my favorite Islas are Ardbeg. And this doesn't remind me so much of like Lafroig or Lagavulin or Colilla or anything like that. This reminds me of straight up Ardbeg, fruity, peary, amazing. Proof 96.4. I put all my eggs in one basket here. I've never tried this one that I guessed, but I have a feeling it might be. Age, I just said 12. I could see this being aged well. And it's not too peaty to where you're like, this is a young whiskey. Because usually what I find is more age on an Islay whiskey, the less strongly peated it is. I went with bottle Ardbeg Anamorphic. I gifted this bottle to Brian, and I imagine it's somewhere in our pool. but I gave it a 9.4 again on my score. So what
Yeah,
about
and
you?
I think I forgot to mention I gave it a 9.2.
Ooh,
It's very up there for me, and it's it's a huge standout. It is more than just an Isla Scotch.
yeah,
Like it clearly stands out among Isla Scotches. So I think it's
yeah,
very good. It's not like my favorite whiskey in the
yeah.
world, but
It's
it's
not a
something.
finished rye.
Yeah, right. It's not just a 10-year MGP rye or anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Hmm.
but like it is very, very able to be appreciated. So
Yeah.
for type, I said
So
Scotch.
wait, I forgot to mention my finish was ex bourbon, which was a guess. I don't know, but go
Ooh.
ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For type, I said Scotch. For secondary, I said not applicable. For
Ooh.
distillery, I said Ardbeg. For proof, I said
Oh.
96.4.
Oh.
Age stumped me a lot. I
Yeah.
have no idea. Okay, well, let's just say my bottle guess is Ardbeg anamorphic also.
Huh.
No idea
Which
on
is
age though.
non-age stated.
Okay, good, because I didn't like specifically search
Uh-huh.
for that.
Mhm.
I just assumed it was non-age stated. I said 6 years. But
Okay.
I don't really know where I'm coming from with this.
Mhm.
There's not a lot. I don't get a lot of oak here. I don't get a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah, that's true.
or anything. So I just decided to go with 6. Finished
Yeah.
no, which also I didn't. Maybe I should have Googled harder on that. I don't
I
know.
don't know if our anamorphic is ex bourbon for the record.
Yeah. So finished no, bottle, Ardbeg anamorphic, score 9.2. So we both
Nice.
guessed the
Pretty darn
same thing.
close.
Yeah.
Could be a tie in this unless
I
somehow we
know.
figure out if it's ex bourbon or something like that.
Yeah, the finish might differentiate us here.
Hmm. All right, let's reveal. We could be both wrong or
Oh, right.
both
Yeah.
right.
1, 2, 3. Hey, look
Ardbeg
at us.
anamorphic.
We're professionals.
We're
Look
good
at
at this,
us.
guys. We got figured it out.
Look
All
at us.
right, we'll be right back. We'll tally up the scores, and we will see if anyone won. But we'll be right back. All right, guys. This was interesting. We both had good votes. We both had good guesses. Everything looked great. And turns out we'll see what the score is. So let's go through it. I'll list everything. So Brian and I were equal on the first 4 guesses. That's type, secondary grain, distillery, and proof. We said Scotch. We said not applicable secondary grain. We said Ardbeg distillery. And we said 96.4. We both said different ages. I said 12. Brian said 6. But there is obviously no age statement on this bottle. So all bets are off there. 0 points for both of us. This is where it got interesting. Finished. I said ex bourbon. Brian said no finish. There is not enough information, even though we do know that the main barrels used were bourbon. We don't know anything about a finishing process. And that doesn't mean that Brian won because he said no finishing. We just don't know. So we went with zeros across the board there. And then the final guess was the bottle. And we both nailed it because we're both professionals here. We're both really good at what we do, especially Brian, but I sometimes nail some things. So that's 10 points there. So total score was a tie.
Yeah.
The big guesses where it came down to maybe differentiation, they had 0 points because we just didn't know enough.
Yeah.
So high scoring game, 26 points for Cole, 26 points for Brian. That's a tie, people.
Yeah.
If you
Is
know
this your
anything about scoring, you know. Yeah.
if you know anything about numbers, is this your
Yeah.
first bottle guess?
I think so. I come
I
close a few times.
Yeah, oh yeah, you've definitely come close, but yeah,
Yeah.
because one time Wait, did you get the no? We
Gold
both guessed
Forester.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof,
Oh yeah,
and
first
then
bet. Yeah.
changed our guesses, and then
Hmm.
it turned out to be Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, I was thinking this was your first bottle
So
guess,
good.
so I was going to give you a little round of applause here.
Thank you. And your
Congratulations.
fourth bottle guess. No, I think it's your third.
You're in the
Yeah.
club now, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. And so we had a good time. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this proves that we'll do well in Matt Madness, but we'll find out when Matt Madness comes around. So um yeah, if we don't do well this year, maybe we'll do well next year and you can vote us in or whatever happens
Yeah,
next year. So
hopefully.
yeah. So we love you guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next time on the Reentry Buzz.
We're both really good at what we do.